Are you somebody that is ready to start a business, but the fear is just paralyzing and you haven't even been able to do anything yet? Or maybe you already have a business, but you're so scared to take things to the next level because you just don't know how you're going to have to show up. Well, you're in luck, because in this video, we are going to take you through how to let go of fear and pursue your business dreams. And I have to apologize in advance. The footage isn't amazing quality because it actually is a podcast recording that I did, but the value and the content is amazing. So I really wanted to share it with you because I feel like it's going to really help you to overcome that fear and actually start the business of your dreams. So before we jump in, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get weekly updates as to the videos that I'm going to be putting out. It's going to be everything to do with mindset, personal development, and anything that's going to help you grow as a person. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications each week as to when I put new content out. Now let's dive into the episode. All right, guys, welcome back to the Millennial Business Podcast. We are in episode 7, and I am so happy to be joined today by my beautiful friend, Dimity Edwards. Dim, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me on this. Pumped.
Woo! All right, well, let's just jump right in because it's the best way to do it. Firstly, I just love that you admit and you sort of recognize that a lot of people come from a dark place, but you actually came from light and your light only got brighter. And I know when I went to my first personal development event, it was here in Bali actually, and I was hearing all these stories of all these people that had this messed up stuff happening to them. And I almost felt guilty. I was like, oh my God, I feel bad that should I even be here if I don't have a life where like the most craziest messed up stuff has happened to me? Like, totally. I don't know. Do you have anything? Do you have anything on that? Because like I personally felt guilty that I didn't have a really messed up life when I was started going to these personal development events. Touch on that for me. I can see you agreeing.
Preach. And it's, for years, I tried to create stories because I felt guilty that I had this incredible story that only just kept on getting more incredible. And don't get me wrong, I've had hard times, really sad times, like go through like moments of depression, but it's all just moments of this, like I learned to pick myself back up out of it. But yeah, I've lived a beautiful life and I continue to live a beautiful life, but I continue to choose to live in that beautiful life. And I think that is the most important part about my journey, is that I continue to choose to live in a beautiful state, in a beautiful mind, in a beautiful world. But yeah, for years I felt really guilty. And even so, like I'm speaking at an event next week that they're like, hey, can you just share your story? And I feel like sometimes for years I had to pretend to find a pain of why I actually got started in business, or why I got started using my nutrition system that I am part of, to why I do anything or why I wanted to go traveling. And the reason is I just chose to do it. I didn't really have this whole big sad story. Maybe my sad story is yet to come, but I don't think so, because I continue to just live in a beautiful state. So if you're out there and you have a beautiful story, please don't make shit up thinking that you need to have some pain points to then live an epic life or share a beautiful story, because you just don't. So yeah, that's what I'm going to share on.
And I love that you speak about how it really is a choice to have that positive mindset and to really always see, okay, well, yes, I might be going through something that's really tough right now, but this is going to pass, and it's a choice to remain in that positive and inspired mindset, I guess. So that's really amazing that you're able to do that, because not a lot of people are. Some people really do struggle when they get into those darker places. They think that it's never going to end. Do you have any sort of advice to anyone who might be feeling that way? Might be stuck in that really dark place?
Yeah, totally. And I just want to give you guys just like full transparency. Like I have been through those dark spaces, but I just don't let those moments define who I am. So that's why I kind of skip over them often because they don't define who I am. But I get it. It is a tough world we live in, especially with social media comparison, like wanting to always be the best at everything, or maybe you self-sabotage everything that you do. But one of the best ways that I've always really practiced, and it's daily habits, this compounding effect. It doesn't happen overnight. You might be really good at it one week, and it's that second week of execution that creates those habits, because most people quit on themselves. But it's daily journaling, and it's getting out those emotions that I'm feeling like in an instant. So daily journaling for me is really important, and creating a miracle morning. So I'm sure that Taylor's already well on that. So she'll probably do a podcast on a miracle morning, but doing a miracle morning is incredible for me. The other thing that I have really started to practice, and what I've really done, is create a vision statement for myself, wake up to every single day. But I've also, and I adopted this from my beautiful friend Gabby, she calls it her light me up list, and I totally have just adopted it. So I have a 30 thing light me up list, and I write out the 30 things that really light me up. I stick it near my desk, stick it on my bedroom, stick it where you're going to see it often, or where you like, even if you're at work and you just want to put it near your desk, have a light me up list. And on your light me up list, it's like listening to podcasts, maybe it's pouring love onto people, maybe it's candle making, maybe it's scrapbooking, maybe it's photography, but things that light you up on fire. Maybe it's going to a workout, but having that reference instantly there, that you just know that in that moment you can choose either light or dark, and that light me up list is going to help you get straight out of that state and make you happy. Because again, a law of attraction, you continue to do the things that make you happier, guess what, you're going to get happier. You continue to do things that make you sad, well, you're probably going to get more depressed. So this light me up list is just a really great tool that allows people to go change their state in an instant, because they have that reference. They know already. And I think this is a really great thing for our decision fatigue. They don't have to think about the things that light them up. They already know. So they can easily just jump from state to state, or like mindset to mindset state.
Totally. And I have a friend who has a similar sort of thing to your version of the light me up list, but hers is actually a little bit more business orientated, which I love. And it's for any entrepreneur out there, you'll know that sometimes struggle with imposter syndrome, and you think, oh my God, how am I doing this? Like, what am I doing? Who am I to be doing this? And like you feel like an imposter in your own business. And so she actually, when she gets that feeling, she actually has a Google Drive folder in her Google Drive, and it's screenshots of all her testimonials, all of the awesome work that she's done, all of the cool projects that she's loved working on. And so whenever she's feeling that imposter syndrome, she goes into that folder and she has a look and sees all the people that she's helped and all the amazing things that she's done. And it really just helps her to ground herself again and get back into that zone. So I feel like hers is a little bit more business orientated, but yours is sort of more just like general life, like light me up list, which I love. I think that's epic.
Totally. And I'm just like here, and I'm like, I'm going to combine my two. Like, you can imagine my brain's just exploding. But yeah, that's just awesome. And to be honest, the thing that lights me up is business. And so I had to get over that. My ego was like, no, guess what? Like, it's not that you're like obsessed with working. It's like you genuinely enjoy it. So if you're stuck in a shitty mindset, like, get on a business call, go serve someone else, do something that is like part of your business, because guess what? I can tell you that can send a firecracker up your ass, and you will be in such a better state after it. I can promise you that.
100%. And it's so crazy actually, because it's just, I find it's funny how other people try to project their feelings and opinions onto you when you do love business. And people do say to you, oh, you work too much, or you're working too many hours. How can you work all day on your business and then go and have dinner and then keep working on your business? Happens to me all the time, actually, when I have calls with like my family and stuff back home, now that I'm living here in Bali, because I'm like, oh, I've been working all day. Like, I'm so excited. I'm going to go home and I'm going to listen to this podcast or watch this tutorial and learn how to do this. And my mum specifically is always like, you work too much, like you're going to get so burnt out. How can you do this? Like, you need to slow down. And I'm like, do you realize this is actually what I love doing? Like, it's so fun for me to constantly be learning and growing and trying to create this thing for myself. It's like my little baby as well. It's like, if you had a baby, you wouldn't just say, oh, okay, well, it's 5 p.m. so I'm done now. Like,
just leave that thing, getting starved. It's so true. And I know for me, like, I did work to burn out often. Like I have noticed that is a pattern of mine, and something that I always coach people, my new clients, is like, what are your patterns? Like, do you work in 90-day blocks, and then you know what, you need to take an actual scheduled holiday for yourself that you don't do business? Like, find out what your patterns are and run with it. Maybe you're just a 4-day-a-weeker. Maybe you just like love being funnel focused for 4 days, and it's like you have your 3 days of play, but you're so focused and committed on those 4 days. Don't feel guilty on your 3 days off. Like, so you get the idea. For me, I work in blocks and chunks. So I think working really hard and not having that work guilt is really important, but at the same time, learning your patterns of how you execute and you flow really well, because I'm so not a morning person. I don't know about you, T, but like I don't really I'm not thriving in creativity in the morning. So that's when I get my emails and I get my reports done. And that's where I get all of my like serious business work done. But in the afternoon, I leave it free and open. And so I can do fun podcasts, and I can do speaking gigs, and I can do all really cool, just creative new courses or stuff. So yeah, find out how your day and your patterns work, and just try something on new for size and see how it goes.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And it's funny because I'm the opposite. I do all of my creative stuff in the morning. Like, I have my little miracle morning that I have set up for myself. I go to the beach and I meditate, and then like I go work out and I do a couple of other things, and then I come to the co-working space, and I really try to smash out all of my sort of more creative stuff that I need to do before 12. And then after 12, after I have lunch, it's like, okay, now I've got to get to my emails and the more sort of systemized things that are easy to do when your brain's a little bit more on autopilot. So I do that in the afternoons, which you pretty much, you just need to figure out what works best for you and sort of hack your own brain in that sense.
100%. Trying on new different things, like hearing stuff. Like, maybe you're someone that thinks you like are really creative in the morning, but you're actually a creative in the afternoon. Like, just try something on for size for a week. And if it doesn't work, and then guess what? Choose to go back. It's all good.
Yeah, totally. And now I want to move into talk more about network marketing, because that's how we met. I was also doing network marketing. I still am a little bit, but this Millennial Girls Media now is more so my focus, just purely from a time point of view. But I think network marketing is so amazing for the average person who isn't sure what they want to do with potentially starting a business, but they know they want a side hustle, and they know they want to be earning a secondary income and start creating something for themselves. I think it's such an amazing vehicle to help just a normal person achieve financial freedom and achieve actually creating a business for themselves. For someone though who is skeptical, because I know there are a lot of people who are skeptical about network marketing. Yeah. If there is someone who is listening to this podcast, they're a young millennial, they're thinking they might want to start a business, and potentially it might be network marketing, but they're a little bit worried about what other people might think, or a bit skeptical about it, what would you say to that?
Get over your ego and actually check it out for what it's really about.
Yes.
But I'm not going to just leave that. It's like the skepticism, it always comes from it's too late, only the people at the top make the money, you're just trying to sell to your friends, like you get no help, and like your upline or your mentors only want to use you so they can earn more money, and all of these stuff out there is like bullshit. Skeptics are usually like have a preconceived notion basically on something that someone else has already told them, not necessarily the information that they've experienced themselves. And network marketing for me is a leverage platform. There are so many people out there that just can't be a business owner. And I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's true. We live in this world of this entrepreneur.
It's hard.
But
yeah, it's so hard.
Like, do you have a licensee to do some shipping from China to like Australia? Do you have a license that allows you to legally coach and mentor people? Do you have a license that allows you to get on different programs and have legal documents? Do you have a call center team? Do you have a customer service team? Do you have a dropshipping warehouse company that you know that can help you out? Do you have a product that you can sell that you've invented on your own that isn't already invented? Probably not. And here's the reason why most people burn out is because they think that they need to be the inventor of the product and not the entrepreneur that sees the opportunity to sell the product.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And also the fact that like one thing I love about network marketing is actually the amazing opportunities that they give you in terms of personal growth and personal development, and actually helping people to realize, like helping people to have hope again. We've been conformed in society that it's our job to get a job and to do what we're told. And it's crazy, actually. Someone was telling me the other day here in Bali, because they don't put fluoride here in Bali in the water. Whoa. And he was saying that actually the reason that we get told that they put fluoride in the water in Australia is for our teeth. The reason that they actually put it in the water is because it turns off it sort of like dumbs down a certain part in your brain that makes you think outside of the box and makes you basically want to do anything different than what the government tells you. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so crazy. We're literally feeding that to the whole of the Australian population. So I don't know if that's like real or not, but I just thought it was like crazy that, yeah, I know, but it's just, I love that network marketing actually can give you hope again, and they help you create a vision for yourself and show you what could potentially be possible if you put in a couple of years of hard work. I think it's epic that they do that.
Totally. And for me, network marketing used to be really hard. You had to go out and you had to door knock and you had to bring people over to your house and you had to do all those weird things and you had to store all your products. Like literally now network marketing for me is like, hey, I'll post it on, I become a social media influencer or a micro influencer. I have an app on my mobile phone. You buy my products.
Insane.
That is what network marketing is today. It's no more complicated than literally a discounted code or an e-commerce business or anything other than that. It is so simple, yet we go to complicate it and we have this preconceived notion that it's some weird skeptic thing, but it's actually really not. It's a great way to leverage your already your skills. Like, so many people just that. And the last thing I want to just touch on this as a network marketing thing, network marketing, ready for this? It is the most paid out industry in the whole entire world. More than movie stars, more than athletes, more than business owners, more than legal states, more than bankers. It is the most paid out industry across the board in revenue every single year. You can be the skeptic or you can be the one joining me in all the fun. So
that's epic. Absolutely epic. And I love that through building up your confidence with network marketing, you've now been able to start doing all these other business ventures as well, like coaching, like speaking. And do you sort of want to touch on, first let's do your branding and coaching, and then we'll move into the speaking. So do you want to tell us what you've been doing there in terms of your coaching and branding and stuff?
Yeah. And to be honest, like I struggled with the word coach for so long because I was like, that's such a wanky word. I'm such a conscious entrepreneur. And yeah, if you're a conscious police out there, stop it. Like, get over yourself, because I was that person. But yeah, I do personal branding strategy sessions because so many people out there, maybe you have a brilliant idea, maybe you want to execute on something, but you're stuck on one side of the bridge and your dreams and your hopes and your epic life is on the other side of that. Most people can't see logically the next step that they need to take. And any successful person, business owner, entrepreneur has a mentor or a coach. It's just fact. Tony Robbins has multiple of them for business, for spirituality, for fitness, for nutrition, like you name it, they've got it. So a coach or a mentor, specifically what I do is I take a person's vision and I just basically help you lay the foundations. I help you lay the path of where you actually want to go. So a lot of people come to me that they go, this is what I want to create. So one of my clients wanted to create an online apparel store. He's like, how do I do that? I'm like, awesome. What's your brand name? We'll start there. So it's basically just filling out your vision and your brand, creating personal brands. I have a degree in marketing and advertising. So that's where I guess I get to get it all excited, because that's what I love, accelerating businesses and seeing that your growth goes faster than actually not even ever achieving what your vision is. So that's what my business and coaching strategy sessions are about. So taking your vision and actually jumping across the bridge to where your hopes and dreams actually lie. So that's that.
And I know you recently after coming here to Bali, or Dimity and I, for the listeners, we both came to a personal development here event here in Bali. Also, the one that Adriana went to, because Adriana was the last episode, Dim, just because for your reference.
Hey, Adriana.
So yeah, after that event, I have seen you really come out of your shell and just throw yourself head first into speaking and getting speaking gigs. Do you want to sort of, I feel like there will be a lot of people listening to this podcast who would love to move into that space. How did you take those first sort of steps in moving into the speaking space?
Totally. And being really transparent, I don't know. I don't think anyone actually really knows, but I'm going to attempt to try and backtrack my steps. So one thing, yeah, I know. One thing that I just made a decision. Again, I'm based on that whole choice thing. I was like, I am going to get into this space. This is where I thrive. I love speaking. I bring energy. I know that I have a captivating presence about me. I just know it. And I actually, at that event that Taylor was speaking about, I actually got asked to come up on stage and speak, and I freaked out. So like, I cried, and like, I've got photos of it, and I had a horrible time because I just was so afraid to step into my really incredible energy that I hold across the world. I was really afraid because I was so afraid to step into my powerful energy in the thought process that it was going to allow someone else was going to miss out on an opportunity. Now that's a weird concept to really get around, but my whole DNA has always brought me back to, you can't outshine other people. That's why I totally own my story now of I've come from light and I enter more light, because my whole journey has really been around, I've been afraid to step out of the norm because I don't want to outshine other people. So speaking, as soon as I really shed that off me and I really did the processing and the healing with that, I guess for me, naturally, I was like, right, I'm on a mission to go find podcasts. I'm on a mission to go find speaking gigs that will just take me on so I can practice. And so many people out there want to be paid the $5,000, the $10,000, the $50,000 as a speaking fee, and they haven't even taken a hit. Go eat the dirt, as Gary Vee would say, to then go in 5-10 years time. Guess what? I ate the dirt for 5 years and I didn't get paid a cent for speaking, but now look at me go. I've got a whole arena that pays me to come speak. So like, you can't be the best at speaking, or you can't be the best at like getting asked to come to events like every single time. You just got to eat some dirt. Yeah, like some events I've been invited to, and it's just been really small. It's been 20 people, and I'm like, epic. It's an opportunity to grow, and for 20 new people to just give me feedback. That's how I see it. My next event, which I'm really excited about, I've just been asked. I've got an event next Monday night, which I get to share about the vision of why I got into network marketing with a room of 300 people. So that's really exciting. But then in August, and this has not even been announced yet, so I'm like, I don't even know whether I can share this on your podcast, because I'm like, when is it going to get released? But just know that I'm about to head on a tour around Australia with two incredible Instagram influencers that you would all recognize if you IG'd them. I don't even know. You would recognize them, and I'm so excited. And to be honest, that opportunity came out of being just a nice human. And I know that sounds really weird because people are like, want to know the details, but I was just my branding was on point. So this is what I also help people with. Get your branding on point, get your messaging really clear. Like my passions are pretty black and white. Like I love health and I love business, and I will talk about both until the cows come home. But anything other than that, like, just leave me alone. So I really have a very niche in terms of like, I run a nutrition and health business, but I also have a thriving business. So that's where I say your branding and your personal branding really comes into point, because I knew one of the girls through three conversations, obviously, on Instagram. And I just sent her a message and I was like, yo, I love your podcast. I love this. How's it going? And I was just kind. I was not a weirdo, but I actually took the time to network and connect with her on a just a normal level. Your Instagram influencers are people too. They're not like some scary animals. And if they don't reply to you, well, then that's their loss. That's the way that I see it. So don't get offended that your influencers don't reply to you. Like, they get bombarded with loads of messages, but if your photos look really good, if your message like actually is kind, then you're more likely to get a reply back. You're able to build that relationship, and then therefore you get some cool experiences. Like, I know for me, like, they often invite me to their events. Like, I now got this amazing opportunity to go speak as their guest speaker on their tour around Australia. So, like, guys, you never know what can happen, but your branding and your messaging needs to be on point. That's probably what I will leave on.
Yeah. And let's sort of move into some more tactical advice now in terms of branding and messaging. If you could give people sort of 3 or 4 top pieces of advice in terms of getting their branding and messaging on point, for their business or for their personal brand, what are those 4 sort of 3 or 4 tactical things that they can do to really make sure that it's killing it?
Killing it. Yeah. So the first one that I would do, and this is, Taylor will know this, is like, you need to know your values inside out, back to front. Like, wrapping yourself around every decision you make is based around your values. Now, for me, I know my top 10 values off by heart. I know my top 5 values, and I live by them day in and day out. Now, if you don't know your values, like, send me a DM and I can flick you a really good template that I've now created, and, like, for free, like, go for it. Like, I'm not going to get your email or whatever, but yeah, just flick me a DM. I'll send it to you. Go do it, because I think it's so important that people understand who they are as a person, because as soon as they know who they are as an individual, what they love, what lights them up, what doesn't feel good for them, then they're able to then go into the world with a beautiful message. It's really clear, it's direct, it's like authentic. We were talking about this authenticity. It's authentic because it really is your whole self. It's in alignment, right? So for an example, my highest value is integrity. So if you tell me that you're going to do something, or you're going to show up, or you're going to execute on something, I'm going to hold you to that. And I really live my life on integrity. Like, don't double cross me on business. Like, or if you do double cross me, please just have the courtesy to apologize, or to say, hey, look, I'm really sorry. Like, just, I live my life around integrity. And so that for me is my highest value. So now every decision I make is like, well, is this an integrity one, or is it not? Is it integral to my soul, or is it not? So that's, for me, I'm able to create clear boundaries around my values. So that's tactic number 1, Tay. That's good. Number 2 is how many businesses do you actually have, and how many ideas do you have? Because we have so many incredible ideas that we get into this whole idea of thinking that we have multiple income streams, but it's a lie. It's that imposter syndrome, because we think that we have, because we had an idea and we created a course and it's not being executed on, that we have an income stream. Lies. Integrity. Like, I am a really straight shooter, but like, how many income streams do you actually have? And in terms of like the personal branding, and it's like, do you have 2 businesses, or do you have 10? Like, and if you've got 10 businesses, scale it back and focus on 2. Like, get really clear on where your messaging is at. Like, for me, like, I've got a health and nutrition, like, wellness business, and I've got a personal coaching business. Like, and I don't speak around anything other than those 2. You might hear that I do speaking on top of it, but my speaking incorporates those 2. So you can intertwine other things, but get really clear on what it is that provides you a solid income first. And then you can build layers on that. So I guess goes down to add your ideas down, get really clear on what your businesses are, get on a strategy session with someone and just say, hey, look, I've got all these ideas, but like, I don't actually know which one's the best one to execute on, because I think that's where a lot of people get into their head and get caught up in that head game. Again, Instagram is a huge platform. But across all platforms, your branding needs to be on point. You need to come up with a color theme. You need to come up with a concept. You need to come up with who is Taylor, who is Dimity. And maybe you just need to create like a concept board or a vision board around who you are. I know that I had to do that. Like one of my things that people know about me, and you guys now get to know about me, is I'm obsessed with pineapples. Like I hate the actual fruit. Like I know this is so funny, but I love like the actual, like I've got them everywhere. People send me
literally holding up pineapple ornaments from her desk, guys.
Like people send me pineapple photos now, or they'll be out in the street and they'll see a pineapple and think of me. And now you guys will send me pineapple stuff too, which is so cool. But guess what? That's branding. It's got nothing to do, it's got a message behind it and why I love it, but it's actually got nothing to do with anything other than people recognizing an object or a thing and then thinking of you. I'm always at the front of mind of the people that see pineapples and they instantly think of me. So every time you see a pineapple now, I bet you anytime you're going to think of me. I cannot wait to see the photos that you send to me. And if you find any cute little things, I receive gifts too. You're welcome. Just kidding, guys. No,
she's not though. She's not. She's being so serious.
So that would be my third thing, is like have something quirky like that. Like get like, I know girlfriends that have like love unicorns. That's kind of like a stereotypical one, but yeah, find something that makes you rememberable to people. So when I see it, that's another element of branding that no one talks about. They talk about like making that your page looks really hot, and that's really important. Your bio is really significant. But yeah, having something quirky like that is, I think, next level in terms of branding. Then your last, this is not a tool, right? To execute, to get gigs. Yeah, cool. I kind of forgot what we're talking about. Probably, I don't really know what my last one would be. I'm just going to throw out some ideas of what makes my life really fun. Is like, it is a lot of fun. I incorporate play every single day. I laugh a lot. I am a super collaborator. And this is where a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck, is because they allow their ego and they're like, I'm the entrepreneur, so no one can help me voice get in their way of actually going, you know what? I fucking love that Taylor's got a podcast. I don't got one, but you know what? I'm going to preach to her people and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to leverage off what she's already doing, and we're going to collaborate because her audience is my audience and my audience is her audience, and it's just happy days. We all win, guys. Stop trying to fight the battle. Your people are not competitors. They are your friends. They're your best networkers, and you just crush it more when you accept people into your life as not competition, as just epic people that support you on your journey.
And I totally think that the whole competition mindset is something that previous generations have really put onto us. And we're really sort of starting to change the game in terms of not caring about collaborating with people. Even I know, like when I was back in Canberra, there were a couple of times when, because my parents both own a business, and there were times where I suggested collaborating with another business, and it was like, no, why would we do that? And I'm like, why would you not? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that. But anyway, I think that's totally something that millennials are changing, and we're really sort of paving the way in the business industry in that regard. We're not all about competition, we're all about collaboration, because if you like, why would you not want to help someone if you could, and you're both going to benefit from it. And I totally feel that, like, if someone was trying to choose between the both of us in terms of helping with branding and stuff, they need to choose the person that actually resonates with them and their core values, exactly what you were speaking about. They need to choose the person that resonates with them the best, because if they only hear about me and I never share anything about you, then potentially I'm working with a client that doesn't fully align with me. So it really sort of also helps you to create this amazing network of clients and customers and people who you are working with that fully, truly align with you, because they know your values. They might have come from someone else's audience, but they align with you more. So
totally.
I absolutely love that.
Some of your competitors are actually your best referrals. And I'm going to really say this, is like, so many people come to me for coaching and I'm like, you are not my person. You don't like, you need someone that can execute on social media. And the amount of times that I've actually referred Tay, because that's her experts, right? That's where her expertise are at. I'm like, go talk to my girl. Like, I don't want you as my client because all you want is social media training and like that kind of dealio. And I'm like, that is not my jam. That's Taylor's jam. So like your competitors can become your best referrals, but here's where we get so stuck. You actually need to make the connections. You have to take the time to go and network without a purpose behind wanting to get them as a client or wanting to get them as a sale, wanting to get them like let go of the attachment and just make epic, beautiful, juicy relationships with people.
Preach. Love it. Dimity, this has been awesome. I've had so much fun and I'm just so happy that you came on my podcast. So thank you so much. Is there anything final that you would like to say to the audience before we wrap up today?
Yeah, my favorite quote in the world. And it's be the person that you needed when growing up and never forget that.
I love that. I actually love that because I've been doing so much work recently here in Bali on like going back and talking to my inner child and like really trying to heal old wounds from an inner standpoint, not waiting for forgiveness from someone else or trying to forgive somebody else, just actually forgiving myself on the inside and my little girl on the inside. So I love that quote. That is like so totally resonates with me. And I probably just sounded super woo-woo.
No, I love it. That is me. That's my favorite quote. It sits above my desk every single day. And I show up for the person that needed me when I was growing up every single day.
Dimity, thank you so much. I had so much fun talking to you today and getting to share your story with my audience. Wait, Dim, can you tell everybody where they can find you online, please?
Yes, perfect. So I'm not on many places. Surprise, surprise. I'm literally just on Instagram and Facebook, Dimity Edwards or Dimity.Edwards. I'm sure you'll see the tag in here somewhere. But if you ever need anything, email me, message me, DM me, smoke bomb me, send me a little bird, who knows. And lots of pineapple presents, please.
You heard it here first, guys. Send pineapple presents to Dimity Edwards. All right, Dim, thank you so much.
Now, if you guys found a lot of value out of that episode and you feel like it really did give you some tips as to how you can overcome your fear to start the business of your dreams, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you get notifications each week as to when I put new videos out and new episodes. And if the fear still is really paralyzing you and you feel like you can't do it by yourself, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll pop my email here. It's coachtaylorvictoria@gmail.com. I can help you out. I'll give you some support, hold you accountable. We can look at your fears look into why they're controlling you and why they are paralyzing you and really taking control of you. So feel free to shoot me an email if you need some support. And until the next episode, I'll see you next time. Bye.